Anxiety, gone for good. Live the life you've always wanted now. The Silver Bullet Technique. This is one of the coolest techniques that we can show you. It's called the Silver Bullet because it is the one thing that seems to work for everyone. However, it is a very simple technique. One word of caution, don't confuse the simpleness of the way with the effectiveness of this technique. In the Christian world, there's a quote in the Bible that states, "Because of the simpleness of the way, many people shall perish." Did you know the only thing they were asked to do was to look? Fiery serpents were biting their heels, and many people were dying. They were simply told to look up, and they would be saved. But that sounded too simple, so many perished. I would liken an anxiety attack to a fiery serpent. It bites at your heels and then tries to consume your whole body with a flame of fear that ignites you completely. That is, if you allow it to control you. When I first experienced anxiety attacks, I thought I just had to ride out the storm. I endured until it decided to give me some relief. Since then, I've learned to look up or its equivalent, and the fiery serpents have never returned. I'd like to share the story with you on how this powerful tool was placed in our hands, so we will head back to the Silver Bullet Technique. I have a dear friend that knew about my experiences and sometimes would question my methods because I was not a PhD. Well, that's correct. I'm not a doctor, and so I do not have a list of credentials behind my name. I graduated from high school, experienced some college, but I did not have an extended formal education in psychology. But I have a great education, and I call it experience, one of the greatest teachers. I suffered through many things because of this experience, and had I known about some new techniques, my life could have been much simpler and less painful. But it is what it is, and I would not trade my experiences for anything. My friend has had experience with many of the self-help teachers, including Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, and Jim Rohn, just to name a few. He has suffered his own fiery serpents, and so he decided to search a little further to find his answers. It wasn't that he didn't believe me, it was just the fact that I was missing the PhD, and he wanted professional verification for the things that I was suggesting. He had heard about a renowned psychologist who did grief sessions for groups of people who had suffered loss of loved ones and other personal traumas. He felt that this man would know a few things about anxiety because depression, grief, and anxiety, they're all related in one way or another. He paid for a few consultations and was astounded at what he learned. He learned about a process called video journaling. I had called it the mirror technique, but it was a similar process. When he arrived home, he was even further astounded when he found out his teenage daughter was using the technique on her own. She had just entered a challenging time in her life where she would be in front of groups, teaching and training, and anxiety was beginning to bite at her heels. He found that she was upstairs using video journaling as a way to get rid of some anxiety that she was going through. My friend asked his daughter how she knew about it. She said, "I don't know. I just tried it one day and I can't believe how cool it is." She said, "My anxiety is just going away and I don't know why." Okay, that sparked my friend's interest in video journaling, or what the psychologists called the silver bullet. With his daughter's endorsement of what he had learned from a psychologist, he became a believer. Okay, enough background. Oh, but I will mention one more thing. He admitted that the information that I was giving was on the cutting edge, and apparently a PhD was not needed to teach this type of information. So I took that as a compliment, and it just further verified what I've believed and experienced for many years. So are you ready? Remember, because of the simpleness of the way, don't forget to look at this with an open mind and a willingness to believe it will work. The Silver Bullet Technique. I will explain it exactly how he explained it to me. As I mentioned above, it's called video journaling. You turn on your smartphone and you open up yourself and share your feelings with yourself. No psychologist needed. Why do this? He explained that many of us do not even know ourselves very well, and most of us don't even like ourselves. When we take a video selfie, as the young group call it, they point the phone toward themselves, choose the best angle, and make sure they look good before they click the picture or start the video. With video journaling, you use the rear-facing video camera, not the front. No selfie mode. Yes, this time you do not get to see your image in the screen as you film. You begin talking into the phone camera and you get to know yourself. You share your innermost thoughts, your feelings, and you do not pose or try to manipulate the filming in any way whatsoever. You just point the camera portion toward your face and you begin speaking about whatever comes to your mind. At first, it will seem awkward and you will feel self-conscious, but don't let that discourage you. Talk to the camera and tell it exactly how you feel, both positive and negative. Remember, only you will see this. Let it capture your thoughts, for they will reveal some pretty interesting things. They will reveal a side to you that you have not been acquainted with. Don't worry, we don't want to cause anxiety here. There are apps with a password lock that can keep this journal hidden from anyone's eyes but yours, and that is how it should be. This is you talking to you with your guard down and your feelings exposed. The first time you look at your video, you may say something like, I don't even like this person. If this person sent me this video, I wouldn't friend them on Facebook. They look shallow, strained, uncomfortable, and not at all at ease with themselves. They don't look natural or genuine. You may even say that you wouldn't trust this person. Don't be alarmed if you feel these same feelings. Our thoughts reveal so much to us, and they are responsible for our feelings. We must think a thought before we feel a feeling. It is not the other way around. You must think a particular thought before you have an anxiety attack, or you notice a feeling of discomfort and your thought kicks in at that point to tell you that something terrible is wrong. Either way, it is the thought that is responsible for the feeling. Studies have been done on this subject of video journaling, and it is amazing how most of the results are the same. We as a society are severely lacking in self-love. We are highly critical, and that is one reason for our anxiety in the first place. The first time that I personally tried this, I did not like me. And I know I must be a lovable and awesome person, so what was wrong with this picture? Well, it was the way I presented myself to the world and how I secretly thought about myself. It was captured there on film, and I could not argue with the results. The only thing I could do was to keep looking at all of my subsequent videos and watch the change that had come over me. My outward appearance didn't change. It was my inner thoughts that were revealing themselves in my face, and the camera was not kind at all. It captured what it saw, and it projected how I felt inside. There was no other answer. My inner thoughts revealed my progress as I began to be more comfortable watching myself in the progression of videos. When do I use video journaling? Well, use as a daily journal, or when you are actually having an anxiety attack. This is important. And then after your anxiety attack, chart your progress. Or before you go into a social, stressful situation, have an intention of what you want your outcome to be on video. And then after a social, stressful situation, record your thoughts. Remember, it can be positive, it doesn't have to be negative. Okay, how to video journal. Step 1, grab your smartphone. Step 2, record yourself with rear-facing video camera. Don't use front camera or selfie mode. Record your thoughts. Be real with yourself. Transfer video to an app that has video capability and a password lock. Well, for example, my video diary. You can find it in iTunes App Store. Don't do it this way. No selfie video or front-facing camera, and no lying to yourself. No audio-only recordings. No scripts, no editing, and don't overthink it. Do it this way. Just be authentic. Only you will see this video. Shoot video with a rear video camera. Describe how you feel. Be real with your emotions and love yourself. So with that said, I hope you're ready to grab your smartphone, turn on your video camera, and get going. Anxiety attacks will be a thing of the past. Why is this effective? It is because you are the best counselor you will ever have, and you are always available for consultation. Learn to love yourself. Self-love is a magnet. Well, this is your journey. It's no one else's. If you choose to share your information with a loved one or somebody you trust, just feel free to do so. There are quotes to reduce anxiety by Jim Rohn. Learn to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. And learn from the negative as well as the positive, from the failures as well as successes. And the greatest source of unhappiness comes from inside. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Emotions will either serve or master, depending on who is in charge. Walk away from the 97% crowd. Don't use their excuses. Take charge of your life. Quotes to reduce anxiety by Tony Robbins. Let fear be your counselor, not your jailer. Focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. People are rewarded in public what they practice in private. Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is exactly what you experience in your life. Quotes to reduce anxiety by Rhonda Byrne. If you're feeling good, it's because you're thinking good thoughts. Life isn't happening to you. Life is responding to you. Go 24 hours without complaining, not even once, and see how your life starts changing. Your happiness depends upon your very thoughts. Deliberately think of thoughts of what you want. Quotes to reduce anxiety by Bob Proctor. Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. You choose. Change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. Let's start with what we can be grateful for, get our minds in that vibration, and then watch the good that comes. The strongest factor for success is self-esteem, believing you can do it, believing you deserve it, and believing you'll get it. Our attitude is the environment we carry with us. The more you love your decisions, the less you'll need others to love them. Let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. Jim Rohn.